Lucky enough today that we didn't have to drive that far. Here in Abilene at the Expo Center, where they had some ranch games, I guess. Jason Miller and Everett Farr are loading roping steers to bring them back to Cleburne. So we're gonna do an interview with these guys, see what they think about the questions that we have to ask them, and see what they have to say. Those are beautiful trucks. Wow. I made it all the way to Abilene to do an interview with these two guys. Can you tell me what's your name and where you're from?
James Miller. Call me Smokehouse on the radio. Chilton, Texas.
Everett Farr, Copperell, Texas, aka Butterbean.
That's a question that I got. Does your truck have a nickname? You have a nickname also. Can you explain why Butterbean?
I love Butterbeans.
It's
Today I like to dance.
It's a nickname they gave you, or a nickname that you accepted from? All right. Somebody called you Butterbean, and you.
Truck drivers.
Excuse me?
It was given to me from other truck drivers.
Because you like Butterbeans.
I like Butterbeans, and back in the day, I like to dance. I'm pretty
not anymore.
Oh, I still dance. I'll throw down with the best of them.
What about you, James?
Well, going out there to my grandpa's in Louisiana, they used to smoke a bunch of meat out there in the smokehouse, and I was always in and out of the smokehouse doing tasso and sausage, just different kind of meats and stuff like that. So that's why I got the nickname Smokehouse. I was around the side of the damn thing.
Everett, I see in your truck it says all blue. Why all blue? Because it's an all blue truck?
No, my grandson named it.
Your grandson named it?
So we were sitting in a restaurant in Jackson, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Truck beside us was pulled out. We was sitting there eating. When he pulled out, he looked out the window and he said, "Look, Poppy, there's Old Blue." I named it Old Blue.
Cool. It's always good to drive around with somebody that your grandson says, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. What about you, James? Your truck has a name already, or?
Well, it's full of the emission compliance with the EPA standards and all that kind of stuff. So it's called 3-tank.
3-tank because it has 3 tanks.
Yep, it's got two fuel tanks and one for that emission fluid they put in there, DEF. So
yep, the white liquid, white gold. Yeah, it's expensive. It was expensive in Europe. I don't know how expensive it is here in Texas, America, DEF. Is that expensive too, or compared to the diesel? Diesel was like $2.69. Same price. See, that's expensive.
Most places, if it's $2.65 or $2.70 a gallon for diesel, your DEF's going to be the same price.
That's too expensive. So they want to have you use it because it's for a cleaner engine and emissions. But on the other hand, they ask you a big price that you actually cannot afford for that stuff. So start with you, Everett. You bought this truck just a few months ago. Can you tell me something about the truck, like the wheelbase, horsepower? It's like a special paint.
Well, it's 315-inch wheelbase. It's 2014 Kenworth. It's got. I just got it deleted. It's 625 horsepower now.
Wow.
18 speed. It's got lots of room in it. Big old 86-inch sleepers.
If you
so it's pretty comfortable.
Well, if your grandchild is going with you, he can stay in the bed while you're driving, right?
Oh yeah.
And play with all his toys, and he's got room enough.
Oh yeah, he's got plenty of room back there.
Yep. What about you, James? You got this truck like a few, I think like a few weeks.
Yeah, I've had it just about 3 weeks now. It's 300-inch wheelbase, 2020. Got that 605 Cummins in there. It's, they call that Black Cherry and Legendary Black. Runs pretty good. Got the air ride front end on and stuff like that. Just put a cow catcher in the front to keep the wildlife off the front end and keep me out of the shop, keep me going.
Yep. I remember you, Everett. You had a black truck before, Peterbilt. You had a big hurt guard also. Are you gonna you think about doing that on this one also? Yeah. I mean, a bumper, $500. One deer.
I think it's business smart.
Yeah. Well, if you want to drive a nice truck, you want to keep it nice, you want to keep it clean, you want to keep it from damage, and so yeah, it's an investment.
We catch a lot of flack on them, but I tell you what, it's business smart.
Yep.
Insurance purpose.
The reason why I put on that black truck is, you know, I hit a deer running 98.
Yep.
It done $14,000 worth of damage.
Oh wow.
Had to have a new hood and everything.
Yeah.
So, $5,000.
For the hurt guard.
Yeah.
But it saves a lot of money.
Yeah, it saves you in the long run.
In the long run, yep.
Yep.
Yeah. What kind of trailer do you pull, Everett? I heard James was telling about the Wilson sled side.
Yep.
Only one in America.
No.
No.
There's a few other ones now, but it's 53 foot, 2019 Wilson slat side. I ordered it. Wilson in Oklahoma City.
Okay. James, you told me just a minute ago. I did an interview with Robert Aha from American Equipment Trailer, and I've been inside a brand new trailer. You told me that's mine.
That was the one you did the interview on right there. Got the stamp on the side from American. Got the 3-position nose in there. That's it. It's about 3 weeks old as well too. So it's a Wilson. Yeah.
This is a Wilson also. Why Wilson? You think Wilson is one of the better brands, or?
Wilson's been around for a long time, and Merrick's got a good trailer, and EB's come around. I just prefer Wilson.
Because it's the sturdiness, or it'll last forever?
They last a long time.
Yeah.
You know, Capital Land and Livestock, they move a lot of cattle, and they have Wilson trailers. They trade them every 4 or 5 years. And in that 4 or 5 years, I mean, them trailers have hauled many a cattle.
Yeah, and they still look like they bought them yesterday.
Still rolling down the road.
Yeah. At what age did you start driving a truck? Not hauling cattle, just when did you start driving a truck? I started driving a truck when I was 24. What about you, Everett? What age did you start driving a truck?
Well, it may be hard for some of y'all to believe it, but I was sitting in my daddy's on his knee, and I was driving, going down the road at 9 years old, with him sitting behind me. By the time I was 12, he was sitting in the passenger seat, and he had a yardstick, an old cab over mat. Every time I'd bump a gear, he'd reach across there and pop me on my hand. And I learned how to shift. At the age of 13, I learned how to drive a triplex mat. And actually got my license when I was 18. Started hauling rock for Ellis County out of the lime plant. And then at the age of 21, when I could go out of state, I started hauling cattle. That was, I mean, that was what I always wanted to do. I can remember when I was a kid sitting on the doghouse of that Mack, and them Sonny Camel trucks and old George Worley and them boys that worked down there at Waco Cattle Express and down in Clifton Cattle Company from Eugene Island. They had sucked us up going out west. We'd be going to Albuquerque with a load of lime. I'd sit on that doghouse and I'd tell my dad, one of these days, I'm gonna have me a big bad cow truck. Living a dream.
Well, you got one right now.
So in 1989, I started hauling cattle, and been doing it ever since.
Wow. Wow.
I started trucking, driving the big trucks, I run the flatbed. I guess I was 22. I ran flatbed for a few years. Hauled machinery, got into machinery hauling. Ran some of that stuff for a while. And got into cattle hauling about 5 years ago. And I wish I could have been doing this when I was 21. But I got 5 years in, and I ain't gonna do anything else. If they don't walk on and walk off, I'm not interested in hauling.
Wow, that's dedication then. So how long have you been cattle? You already told me, but you already told me also how long you have been hauling cattle. But the question that's following on that question is, why cattle? You say if it's not walking on, walking off by itself, I'm not interested in it. But why especially hauling cattle? Why not do the easy stuff? Pull a drive in and let people load your truck and unload your truck, and it's just being a truck driver, going from one place to another. And so why specifically cattle?
It's a lifestyle you gotta live and want to do it and enjoy being around live animals, being around the environment, and getting out there doing hard work, running them long hours, running them long trips, taking care of business, doing what other people don't understand what it's all about, doing that, and it gets in your blood, and that's where a guy wants to be at doing it. You know, it's not a part-time deal, it's a full-time commitment doing this.
Well, yeah, it's Saturday afternoon, and instead of being with your wife, your girlfriend, with your children, you're here waiting to load some roping steers. It's a passion, dedication. You want to do it, and somebody has to do it, of course. But you think like, I'm that guy that I don't care if it's a Saturday, Sunday, if it's a holiday. if cattle needs to be transported, I'm the one that wants to do that.
That's it. It gets into your blood, and it's a lot.
Is there still amongst the maybe truck drivers in general, but maybe more amongst cattle haulers, is there still like a brotherhood amongst each other?
It is a brotherhood.
Is there still like you break down on the side of the road, they pull over and they help you?
Yes.
Or is it like you step out of your truck and you have to look like once or twice before they drive the shoes out of your socks? It's not like that. Well, freight haulers maybe yes, but cattle haulers, they'll pull over and they'll help you.
There's still some old school that's still left. That if you're broke down, we'll stop and help.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a legend. It's back whenever I was a kid, like I told you a while ago, you know, the cattle haulers, they were looked up to. They were the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're hauling live movement. You know, you got cattle in there that can shift, and they always had the prettiest and the fastest trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said a while ago, you know, you just to be able to get in there and load and go from Florida to California, Florida to the Panhandle. It's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I like a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Challenge me, and I'm gonna bow up on it.
I remember that time that you were on that parking lot in Guthrie, that you broke down with your Peterbilt, and Jay Hallman stopped, Travis Hall stopped, I stopped to look where you were. I couldn't find you. You were sleeping. Always good, of course, but
I was sleeping in the hospital.
First in the hospital, and then back to your truck, and
Yeah.
took another long nap. It was good for your health, that nap. It turned out right. Yes.
Yeah. I guess in all, it's really it's a dying breed out here of the old cow haulers. These new boys coming in, you know, they want to run around in their shorts and their flip flops. That ain't what it's all about, man.
Nope.
It's not a freight hauling job. It's something to be proud of. I'm proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
I look out for my other fellow bull haulers, cow haulers, whatever you want to call us. It's a brotherhood.
Good. I'm happy that still exists in the trucking business. Are you an owner-operator? Yes, you're an owner-operator. You drive for yourself. You got your own truck. James, you too. You got your own truck. So that's. Have you ever been driving for a company, like you started working for a company before you decide to work for yourself as an owner-operator?
Dad had trucks when I was growing up, so I drove for him, and then I drove for other people. And, you know, cattle hauling gets slow. Sometimes you got to do something else. I pulled flatbed, tankers, reefers. You know, you got to do what you got to do to get by.
Yeah.
And not that we may not like it sometimes, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. It means for your family to provide for them. Stay afloat.
How many trucks have you had before this one? Have you started driving a truck when you was 21, going out of state?
I was 17 when I first had my first truck.
And in the meanwhile, how many trucks did you own?
I don't know, I've had several. Cab overs, conventional, Freightliners, Peterbilts, Kenworths. I don't know, probably altogether, probably 10 or 12 trucks.
How many have you been driven before this one? I know you had 2 different trucks when you were driving for Farmer.
Yeah, I've driven several of them. This one here is a partnership truck. That's a nice one.
what is your favorite truck and why? So that's a question I think Fred Beveridge from New Mexico, I think he is, right? Or he lives in New Mexico, but he asked a question on Facebook, like you should ask them, what's their favorite truck? Like your favorite trucks, that a Peterbilt, a Camry, a Mack, a Volvo, a Freightliner, a Ford, a whatever. Or do you have your favorite truck right now?
I like them all, really.
There's no bad trucks?
Yeah, well, there's bad ones, but I mean, the old cab overs, old school, you know, the old 359s and old 351 Peterbilt, little windows, old A model Kenworths. They're all pretty nice trucks, but these newer ones, they sure do ride good. Like I said a while ago, this truck here's got an 86-inch sleeper. I'm kind of enjoying that room back there.
Yeah. There's, of course, it has a refrigerator in it. Does it have a microwave in it?
It's got a spot for it.
It's got a TV. It's got a toilet in it.
Nope.
A shower?
No.
No. No. So it's not an RV on wheels then.
No, sir.
Not yet.
Not yet, anyway.
So that's saying, if money was not an issue, you had money enough, what kind of truck and trailer would you buy? If you had so much money that it's a different question. What if you
old A models, old 359s, 351s, cow trailer, which I own a drop deck. I have a dry van, a reefer, hopper bottom, and a tanker. That way, all seasons you can find something to do. Keep busy. That's exactly what I'm trying to work myself up to is where I can be flexible.
If you drive along the road, you see all these billboards, Powerball, multi-millions on it. I've seen a few months ago, I seen a ridiculous price like $1.5 billion that you can win in the Powerball if you have the good numbers. What would you do if you would buy the ticket, 6 right numbers, you get a jackpot? Would you still drive a truck, or would you say, well, that's it? I can live from the money, and I don't need a truck.
A lot of us would say I ain't driving, but it's like he said a while ago. This right here gets in your blood. You can't just walk away from it. So yeah, I'd buy me a ranch, and then I'd have me a truck so I could drive when I wanted to.
You, James, you still drive a truck when you win that big money?
Yeah. I'd have a big old shiny truck, big fancy one, and I'd have some old ones, go out there, just look at them, drive them here and there, live life, and keep trucking, I guess.
Well,
it'd be nice.
When I was a truck driver, and I told Pete Robinson yesterday in that interview, they could offer me millions and millions. I would never get off that truck. I would never get out of the truck. I was a truck driver at heart, and I don't say that I don't know anything else to do, but that's all I wanted to do. When I was a kid, 3 years old, went with my dad, and any vacation I had, I went with my dad, and so if I had money enough, just put it on the bank, buy a nice car, buy a nice house, and pay it off, and just drive around. And
live comfortable.
Yep. What do you do if you don't drive a truck on your days off? And you already told me what you want to know right now, or in the days when I was younger. That's your choice. You want to give us some experience what you had in the younger years, or?
Well, in the younger years, we had a lot of fun doing this. It was, I mean, you lived to go haul cows, and when we wasn't hauling cows, we was drinking beer, raising hell, and chasing wild women, and having lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I go home and I play with my grandkids.
Yeah.
Go buck bulls. We got bucking stock. Just, something to do with cattle and livestock. Ride horses.
Yeah. What do you do, James?
Yeah, hell, I ain't trucking out there. The weather's nice, so like that, I like to go down there to the Gulf, go fishing. Always had that. Saltwater fishing's always been part of my life there. Go do some predator hunting, hunt some hogs, go hunt some coyotes, stuff like that, varmints, always like that. Take the four-wheeler out, go ride that, check the trails out. Just be outdoors and enjoy life,
Another question that somebody asked me, of course on Facebook in our group I Love Cattle Trucks, I asked people what would you like to ask the people that we interview, and one guy that we already interviewed, Matt Jackson from Beeville, he asked me what do you think the direction of the cattle trucking industry is going in the future? What if from between now and 10-15 years from now, what do you think the future of cattle hauling will go to? And of course we had this issue with the electronic logging devices that Washington is trying to make mandatory for everybody. I don't think it's working, but you know, those people sitting in the office, they get paid to come up with plans that nobody understands why they come up with those plans. But what do you think that the future will be in the long run between now and 15 years?
It's going to be a mess if you ask me, but you know, I don't agree with the ELO deal. I don't like it, and right now we're exempt from it, and I think that's the way it ought to be. And I think the ones that are hauling cattle now, they ought to be grandfathered in, and the rest of them who's wanting to come to be cow haulers because they do have the exemption, I think they need to be, they have to be tested, and that they have to ride, and like we did. I didn't just jump in one of these cow trucks and go trucking back in whenever I started. I had to ride and ride and ride before they ever turned me loose in one. And I think it ought to go back to that. But as far as in the future, with the government involved and the way things are headed, it's either going to have to run team, or it's going to limit the ranchers and the farmers to where they can sell their cattle, so you can make it in that 11-hour period, 12 hours, whatever, you know. I think it's
so you think if Washington,
they're taking our freedom away from us.
If Washington is going to push this through, they're going to ruin it for y'all. They're going to kill this industry.
Yep.
So what do you think of what's his name? What's his name? Steve Hilker. He's going to Washington every now and then, and he's trying to change their minds. What do you think of that guy? He's doing a good job for y'all, no?
I think so. I mean, he's going to bat anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take more than just him. The Cattlemen's Association, you know, I think that's why we're exempt right now, because they got involved. And I think they need to get more involved. We're going to lose what we got.
Yeah. And that would be a shame.
Yes, it would.
Because this is I don't think they have any clue how important y'all are for the American economy. You haul cattle. Everybody in America loves steak and loves hamburgers. As long as they want to eat those things, there's cattle to be hauled.
Yep.
And I don't think they have any clue what they're doing. They just want to push that and push that and push that and want everybody on their ELD, but actually they don't have any idea what they're talking about.
No.
I think they should talk with y'all first and then see what they can do, and what they maybe can change anything about it. And when the people that have knowledge of it start talking with these guys, maybe they can change their minds, and maybe they can come up with a plan, maybe in some kind of direction, but still. But that's my thoughts about it. I mean, I'm not a cattle hauler. I'm doing a completely different job, and but I talk to people like y'all every now and then, and I hear stories, and but that's what I think. If they want to change something in the cattle trucking industry, they should first talk to people that are doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, they need somebody that's been out here and knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Not sitting up there in Washington behind a desk.
Exactly. Yeah. And James, I want to thank y'all for this little interview that I was planning on doing, on finding a lot of people in the cattle trucking industry. What I want to do is involve everybody in the cattle industry, not only cattle haulers, also like people that sell cattle trucks, also auctioneers, sale barn owners, and so I want to thank y'all for this little conversation that we had. And is there anything that y'all want to add to this that I forgot to ask you, or that you think you should mention this?
There ain't a whole lot I guess I want to add, just that those of us that are doing this, keep up the good work, and 2020 Trump, we got to keep him in there.
I just appreciate what you're doing out here for us, Frank, and keep the industry alive by making your videos and talking to people out here that are real life doing it. Maybe these videos will make it up there to somebody in the office to see what it's all about out here and what kind of work we do. Go Trump 2020.
Okay, thank y'all. This is Everett Farr tractor trailer combination. He's got a Wilson sled side tandem, widespread with a lift axle, and that's pretty unique on this in the cattle haul business. This is a beautiful trailer, beautiful, and that tractor is beautiful also. I heard he bought it at the dealership in Pennsylvania.
He must know he's on camera. Don't you go back down that ramp. There he's got him blocked. Come on, help! Yes. That worked out pretty good. One coming in, you ought to slide down and ride him in there.
Yep.